The Happy Prince. The next day, the prince saw a poor crying match girl in the town square. She knew if she went home without any match sales, her father would beat her. The prince asked the swallow to drop his other sapphire into her palm. The swallow decided to stay with the prince because he became blind. The prince told the swallow to strip off pieces of his gold leaf and give it to the poor. The prince sacrificed his appearance, but he helped the society. As winter got colder, the swallow couldn't survive. The swallow kissed the prince and died. At that moment, the prince's lead heart broke. The next morning, the mayor and town councilors noticed the prince looked dilapidated. Because he was no longer beautiful, he was no longer useful. So they melted his body down. However, his heart wouldn't melt. In paradise, God asked an angel to bring him the two most precious things in the city. The angel brought the broken lead heart and the dead swallow's body. God said, "The bird will sing forever in paradise, and the happy prince will praise me in the city of gold forever."
Hello, everyone. Welcome to English for You. I'm Mike.
I'm Chickling.
And today we are back with the third and final day of The Happy Prince. What do you think of the title so far?
Well, I feel like it's just a metaphor of saying that he's actually sad.
He was happy when he was alive, but now when we meet him, he's not alive. He's a statue, and he seems actually quite worried and sad about all the problems around him. But he has a friend, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has a friend whose name is a swallow, not name, who is a swallow.
Yeah, he's a little bird, and this bird has been running around, flying around, I guess I should say, helping the prince give his body, basically, to poor people in the city, in the town where the prince lived, to help these people sell the stones, the jewels that the prince had on the statue, and use that money that they can make from selling the stones to solve some of their problems. The problem is that the prince is a statue. He's not alive. He's covered in gold. He has two beautiful blue stones in his eyes and one big red stone on his sword. He's given away one red stone and one blue stone. He can't keep doing this.
Right. What if he give everything away?
Yeah, exactly. This is sort of like if I tried to use my money to solve all the world's problems. I'm not the richest person in the world. I could probably take all my money and help a few people out,
right?
But it wouldn't be enough to help out tens or hundreds or thousands or millions of people. So it's not really a solution. So let's find out what's going to happen to the happy prince, the swallow, and all the other unfortunate people in the town the prince wants to help. All right, so as we get into the article, it says, the next day, the prince saw a poor crying match girl in the town square. So this is a girl selling matches. I don't think people do this anymore, but back in the old days, there's, of course, the little match girl. That's a famous story. But this is basically a job that a very poor person would have. Maybe sometimes we can think of it kind of like those people who sell flowers out in traffic. You know, sometimes you see that.
Yeah.
And they don't have a lot of money and they're doing this just to make money, but it's not a great job. It's not a safe job. And it's just a way of just making money because they really do need help. So this poor little match girl is out there. She might not have parents. She might not have a place to live. Maybe she's got a sick grandmother at home and she's the only person who can make money. In this case, it's actually worse. It says she, the match girl, knew if she went home without any match sales or without making any money selling these matches, her father would beat her. That's terrible.
I know. 所以第二天，王子在城镇广场看到一个穷苦呢正在哭泣的卖火柴的小女孩，因为他知道如果他回家的时候没有卖出任何的火柴，父亲就会开始打他哦。
Yeah, so if she doesn't make any money, she'll go home and her terrible father will just hit her and smack her. Her father probably takes the money and buys wine or something like that, wastes it on gambling or something. Who knows? And he's a very cruel, cruel man. Doesn't care for or love his daughter like a normal parent should. And so this, of course, is another very sad, very unfortunate, very unlucky person. And of course, the prince wants to help. It says the prince asked the swallow to drop his other sapphire, that other blue stone that acts as his eye on the statue, drop his other sapphire into her palm. All right, so basically drop it into her hand, give the sapphire to the poor match girl so she also can sell it to use the money. The palm is basically the open flat area on the inside of your hand. When you hold something, you're basically holding it with your fingers and your palm. It's not the back of your hand, right? It's the inside part of your hand. If you're clapping your hands, you're clapping your palms together. If you're nervous, your palms might get sweaty, might get a little bit wet. When you give someone a high five or when you slap your hand on something, you're hitting it with your palm in the same way you would catch a ball using the palm of your hand. For example, why do some baseball players spit on their palms before they try to hit the ball? Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I guess they think it makes their hands stickier.
All right, so palm 就是手掌或手心。最后呢，王子就让燕子把他另外一颗的蓝宝石掉到这个小女孩的手心里哦。现在他没有 he doesn't have any sapphires left.
No sapphires left because I guess the swallow did what he asked. He dropped the sapphire into the girl's palm. Hopefully she used the money to get away from her evil father.
Right.
And move to another town or something like that. But anyways, we kind of jump forward in the story. It says the swallow decided to stay with the prince because he became blind. The swallow, or the prince, had given away the sapphires he used as eyes, so now the prince can't see. He's blind.
这个呢，现在王子已经失明了哦，因为他2颗的蓝宝石都没有了，所以燕子呢就决定留在他的身边。
But the prince still wants to help people. He still needs things to give them so they can sell them for money. So what has he got left? Well, it says the prince told the swallow to strip off pieces of his gold leaf and give it to the poor. Remember on day 1, we read that the statue is made of lead, which is just a cheap soft metal. But the lead body of the prince that they used to make the statue was covered with gold, like a thin layer of gold. That's what we mean by saying gold leaf. So take the gold off my body and use that for money. Give that to the poor. Strip it off, basically pull it off in long pieces.
Strip off something 就是把什么东西剥掉。所以王子就跟燕子说 OK 把我身上的金箔一片片的剥下分给穷困的人们吧
Okay, so now it says the prince sacrificed his appearance, but he helped the society. So yes, that's true. That's what he's always tried to do, help society, help people in his country, in the people who live in his land, in his country, especially the poor people. But he sacrificed, he kind of gave up his appearance. He gave up his good looks. You know, if someone knows that there's a terrible fire, but they have to run into the fire to save some babies, they might say, I'm going to sacrifice myself. You know, I could die, I could get burned, my face could get burned badly, I'll never look good again. I'll sacrifice my appearance in order to, save those people from the fire. What a brave thing to do. Your appearance is basically how something or someone looks. All right, people comb their hair and wash their face or put on makeup or put on nice clothes because they want their appearance to look very nice. We might say that if you're going for a job interview, your appearance matters. If you want to be hired in a bank or as a lawyer, you don't go there dressed in, your dirty clothes you might wear when you're cleaning your house, or you don't go there wearing a swimming costume or a bathing costume. You dress up nice, you comb your hair, you wear a suit, that kind of thing. How you look is your appearance. Here's an example. The spy tried to change her appearance by wearing a wig and some false teeth. She wanted to look different.
所以 sacrifice 就是去牺牲献出什么。那我们的单字是 appearance 就是一个人的外貌。我们英文的片语常会说 to make an appearance 代表你露面的意思。比如说 he was excited to make an appearance at the charity event. 所以最后王子牺牲了自己的外貌，但是他帮助了社会。
As winter got colder, the swallow couldn't survive. Oh no. As the temperature goes down, remember the swallow was supposed to fly off to Egypt, a nice warm country, to spend the winter. So the swallow is not made for this kind of cold weather. So the swallow couldn't survive. It couldn't live through this very cold time of year, this cold winter. The swallow kissed the prince and died.
Aww.
See, I told you to bring some tissue paper.
I have some with me.
So the swallow is very sad, but happy, sad to die, but happy that he had helped this prince save so many people. But the swallow dies, and then it says, at that moment, the prince's lead heart broke. So his heart broke. That means he was hopeless now. His little friend had died. It was a very, very sad situation. And I'm going to try not to cry right now.
Oh my God.
Poor little swallow.
Don't cry. You want my tissue?
It's so sad, isn't it?
I know it is.
I hate this story.
I know. 随着冬天越来越冷，燕子没有办法生存了，所以燕子就亲吻了王子，便死去了。不过就在燕子死去的那一刻，王子那颗铅做的心碎裂了。He must be so sad. He lost his friend.
Very, very sad, and it only gets worse. It says the next morning, the mayor and town councilors noticed the prince looked dilapidated. Okay, so the next morning, someone finally notices, hey, what happened to the prince's statue? There's no more jewels on him. All the gold's gone. He's just this big lump of gray lead. He doesn't look very good. This is something that was noticed by the mayor and the town councilors. We should probably point out here that the mayor and the town councilors, they should have been helping these poor people in town.
Exactly.
For a very long time, because the mayor is the leader of a city. In the same way that a country might have a prime minister or a president or a king or a queen, the city will have a mayor. So it's just basically the leader of the political group in the city. They're kind of the boss of the city and make the decisions, and people vote for their mayor. We had an election for mayor a few years ago. So that's who the mayor is, and the town councilors, these are like the local politicians, the city politicians, the people who should be helping the poor and building hospitals and schools and that kind of thing. They didn't seem to be doing their job very well. All they did was notice that the prince looked dilapidated. The prince's statue looked kind of ugly and run down and old and falling apart and that kind of thing. We have an example sentence here for the word mayor. The city's new mayor says that he wants to build 7 new parks. That sounds like a nice idea.
Okay, so mayor 就是镇长或市长的意思，所以现任市长我们可以叫 current mayor. She is the current mayor of the city working on various community projects. 那么我们文章中另外出现2个单字，还有 counselor， 这个是市啊或郡等等的议员的意思。那么形容词 dilapidated 指的是东西破旧、很破败的意思。所以第二天早上，市长跟市议员就看到说，王子怎么看起来破旧不堪的呀？
All right, so the statue is looking dilapidated, a little run down. It needs some work and some help getting fixed up. So that's what they'll do, right? No. It says because he was no longer beautiful, he was no longer useful. So they melted his body down. That's right. The mayor and the councilors decided, oh, what an ugly statue. Should we fix it? Nah. But it's the happy prince. Everyone loved him. Who cares? He's no longer beautiful. He's not useful. Tourists won't come here to look at his beautiful statue. We can't be bothered to spend the money and take the time to fix him. Let's melt him down. Let's take the lead that he's made of, put it in a furnace, in an oven, make it really hot, and then pour it into something and make, I don't know, something else, something not very nice. Make him into a fence or something like that. Melt his body down. So they tried to do that. However, his heart wouldn't melt.
That's great.
Oh, wow. So they tried to melt down his body. They did. But his heart, the thing where all his kindness, all his love came from, that wouldn't melt. It was too strong to be melted down by the fiery temperatures of the furnace.
No longer 就是不在，所以他们那边说 he was no longer beautiful 代表王子再也不美了。To melt something down 就是去融化金属。由于呢这个王子不再美丽啊，也不再有作用，所以市长啊还有就是议员就把他的身体给融化了。但是他的心是没有融化的哟。
So what happened? Well, we kind of jump from here, the small town where this all happened to, well, paradise or kind of heaven. It says in paradise, God asked an angel to bring him the 2 most precious things in the city. Whoa, okay, so the prince's life has gotten attention from the big guy upstairs, the big boss, God. And in paradise, God asked an angel to bring him 2 precious things. So paradise, yeah, this is kind of like a magical place. It's not really a real place, although you could have your own paradise. But generally, when we see it with a capital P like that, we kind of think of it as being heaven. the place where people might go when they die and they've lived a very good life, and God lives in paradise or in heaven. This is kind of a magical place you go after you die if you've been a good person. For example, we could say for Vikings, paradise was a place called Valhalla, where brave warriors would go after dying in battle. So a lot of different religions will have their own paradise. But as I've said, for you personally, if you're alive, paradise is just a place where you feel wonderfully happy.
Paradise 就是天堂。我们常会说，什么东西是 paradise for something？ 比如说 This island is a paradise for nature lovers and adventure seekers.
And here we had God in paradise. Yeah, talking to his angels. Angels are basically like God's workers, God's assistants, God's helpers, people who deliver messages to people on earth from God. Again, not real things, but some people believe in a religion that an angel might be around you. It might help you out in a difficult time or something like that. But basically think of it as an assistant, a helper, or a messenger from God. For example, we could say the decoration at the top of the Christmas tree looked like a shiny golden angel, I think. Yeah, in the Christmas story, the angel Gabriel in the Bible brings the story of Jesus' birth to the people of the country.
Angel 其实我们就是天使的意思。我们常常拿来口语形容说you're such an angel to talk about how nice someone is. 我们也可以这样子形容一个人哦。所以在天堂里呢，上帝就要求一位天使把城市里最珍贵的2样东西带来哦。So what are the 2 things? I think the answer is obvious.
That's right. God wants the 2 most precious things from the town. The angel goes down and looks around and figures out. The angel brought the broken lead heart of the prince and the dead swallow's body, the heart and the body of the 2 kindest creatures in the city.
所以天使呢就把王子呢那颗牵制且破碎的心还有燕子的尸体带回了天堂。
And then God said, "The bird will sing forever in paradise, and the happy prince will praise me in the city of gold forever."
Wow.
There you go. So God noticed what they were doing, and they get their special kind of reward up there in paradise, where the bird will be happy to sing forever. The bird will sing and, of course, live forever, I guess is the idea, in paradise, in heaven, and the happy prince will live there as well. Yeah, when we say forever, it's basically just kind of talking about a thing that will go on for all time. It will never end, okay? If you're having a really good time, I could do this forever. You're sitting on that beach in Bali or wherever, and it's so beautiful. It's kind of your paradise, and you might say, can I just sit here forever? Can I sit here until the end of time? Or something like that. We're not really using it to talk about a specific time. We're just talking about a time that goes on until basically it never ends. For example, when is the bus coming? It feels like we've been waiting here forever. It might just be 10 or 15 minutes, but sometimes it feels like all time.
Forever 就是永远或永久的。比如说 They hope their love will last forever. 好，所以上帝就说呢，这只鸟呢将永远在天堂歌唱，快乐王子将永远在京城中赞美我。
All right, so that's about all the time we have for this one, but we do have our chat question. How do you feel after reading The Happy Prince? Please share your answer.
I just always be nice and always be like if you see people in need of help, just help them. When you can, just do whatever you can to help people and be a nice person.
There you go. If a statue of a prince and a swallow can help people, I think we can too. That's a very good point. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We're going to have more good stuff for you in the future, so come back sometime soon. Until then, all the best.
所以如果今天的主题让你觉得意犹未尽，还可以加入我们的空中家教，跟老师同学一起讨论哦。拜拜。
Bye-bye. Vocabulary Review.
Palm. Henry didn't use the knife properly and cut his palm. Now he can't hold things with his hand. Appearance. Ethan doesn't care much about his appearance, so he always wears the same old clothes. Mayor. Mayor. After the storm, the mayor put together a team to help clean up the damaged areas of the town. Paradise. Many people believe that if they live a good life, they will go to paradise after death. Angel. The old book describes how an angel brought a message of hope to the people during difficult times. Forever. It's important to spend time with the people we love because they won't be with us forever.
字彙小补帖
Sacrifice. Counselor. Dilapidated.